What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, some of you guys are wondering, what is this title about? Ego versus HBO. And I'm gonna break it down to you. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery, but fuck that, man. I hate when people bite or steal or rip ideas from other people's jack shit, especially when they don't give credit. Now, I just encountered a situation with HBO, and I know some of you guys probably hate me. Some of you guys aren't gonna believe it. You're not gonna want to believe that a big box like HBO and HBO Boxing could steal from little old me. But I posted this. I made this because you guys know I do the editing, graphics, motion graphics, directing, video editing. And I made this because I was really amped for the fight, just to put something different on my page. And it's a segment that I've been doing on my Instagram. It's called Ego Quotables. And it's just before the fights, I pick a cool quote that I like leading up to the fight and then slap together a picture graphic. And 4 days ago, I posted this one of Sergio Martinez, and it said it would be impossible for me to be at a higher level. No human could be more powerful than I am. And then I also did one immediately after with Miguel Cotto. And Cotto basically said, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. I'm going to be ready for anything that Sergio is going to bring to me. Now, yesterday, so I did mine 4 days ago before yesterday. And yesterday, HBO Boxing posted an eerily similar, almost identical. They used the same quotes. It said, for Sergio Martinez, no human being could be more powerful than I am. Blah, blah, blah. Sergio Martinez. And then in the Cotto one, they even used a similar picture of Cotto with a victory pose with his arm up and basically the same quote. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's apparent to me, and this has happened before. The bigger boxing outlets, I guess you could say, bite on different people. And I'm not just saying it's me. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but this is an example of it. And like I said, it's happened before. You got to keep it real and understand that some people, like I said, some people aren't going to agree. They're going to be like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Like, out of all the shit that these motherfuckers said leading up to the fight, Sergio said, I'm going to punish him. I'm going to knock him out in 9 rounds. You have almost the identical quotes for both in a very similar picture. I'm like, come on, man. And you got to keep it real. What's the likelihood that you're going to get a similar Cotto picture, a similar quote for both fighters, and then post it after me? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't even seem realistic. Like I said, this type of stuff has happened before. Not always so flagrant, but little things here and there. And I'm like, oh, that looks like my work. That looks very similar to something I did. And I think it's funny to me. And it lets me know that I must be doing something fucking right if they're sending little spies to copy. I think the same thing happens in the YTBC. There's a lot of great boxing channels, and some of these bigger box outlets that cover boxing, they go to the YTBC like to see what motherfuckers are doing. And then because they have more followers or a bigger fan base or whatever the situation is, they go and try to duplicate what some shit they seen. And that's foul and that's fucked up. Like, but if you look historically, this has always happened. Just a quick story. Thomas Edison is often credited for inventing the light bulb, when in actuality, he was a bigger name at the time, and he stole that patent from another inventor called Tesla. That was the guy's last name, and Tesla came up with the patent and everything for it, but Thomas Edison got the credit and received the credit. And if you look at history books and whatnot, he gets credit for it. Same thing with Christopher Columbus. I remember in school they used to teach us. We used to have Columbus Day off and shit, and they used to teach us Columbus discovered America. How do you discover a land full of fucking people? The Native Americans were already here. They were already having barbecues and partying and cultivating and doing all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? But they gave Christopher Columbus the fucking credit. And this is no different. Like I said, some of you guys are going to be like, no, you're tripping. You're just being egotistical, ego. They didn't copy you. I'm telling you. I have tons of people, like, based on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, tons of different people. Roy Jones Jr. follows me. Tons of pro athletes. And I'm not here to name drop or do nothing like that. I know I have people that work for HBO and Showtime and other networks that follow me, be it Twitter, be it anything, you know what I mean? YouTube, Instagram, and it's fucked up. And just to add insult to injury, here's another one I did. Now, I did this before Sergio Martinez Miguel Cotto was even finalized on my Instagram 23 weeks ago. And a couple days ago, HBO posted another one eerily similar. Now, what I did with this one is I put in this graphic, I put both fighters' flag behind them. And some people, they're going to be like, oh, you didn't create that ego. But look at other edits if you've ever seen, because I at the time I was like, this would be cool to put the Argentina flag and the Puerto Rican flag behind both fighters for Sergio Martinez. Again, this was before the fucking fight was even finalized 23 weeks ago, and I posted it and I was like, oh, this came out pretty tight. And now a couple of days ago, HBO posts one with a flag. I'm like, with the guys in their country's flag. Like, come on, you mean to tell me they didn't jack shit? This is all coincidence? It just happening to me? Like, really? Other than that, I want to talk about HBO. I want to talk about, like I said, it's no beef. Like, they're their own powerhouse. I'm not going to cancel my HBO service. They still have good fights. It just lets me know I'm on the right track with this boxing shit. If motherfuckers have to lack creativity and come to my shit when you're a big entity and spark ideas or jack ideas or whatever the situation is. And like I said, with this flag shit, you can look at other people who have put, like, let's say a Hispanic fighter and a Mexican fighter with a Mexican flag, but look at the outline. There's difference, because a lot of times I've seen recently, since I've done this, people put, like, let's say Canelo, and it'd be a Mexican flag blended in with the image, or an overlay. That's what it's called in editing. It's an overlay. It's where you put something on top. If you look at my edit, I put the flags behind a cutout of Sergio Martinez and behind the cutout of Miguel Cotto, which is very different. And that's almost exactly what HBO did. They didn't blend the image where it was two images blended in or overlay. They did it exactly the same as me, except they just made separate one for Cotto and then a separate one for Martinez. Anyway, like I said, I'm not canceling my HBO. It's just hilarious to me. I do want to talk about HBO in terms of their telecast, their commentary. I was holding back on this, but now, fuck it, everything comes out. It's been getting progressively worse. Jim Lampley says some of the dumbest shit ever. If you watched last night's fight, great fight, thoroughly enjoyed it. The undercards were there's one undercard that was decent, but the main fight made up for it because it was very energetic. You could feel it. You could feel the crowd. Cotto set history. But Jim Lampley says some of the bang, bang, bang. Like, he says some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard. He says there should be two separate boxing leagues, one for orthodox fighters and one for southpaws. Like, you dumb son of a bitch. That makes no fucking sense. That's the whole purpose of boxing. To see a clash in different styles, different heights, different ability, different ages. That's what makes boxing fucking interesting. And you're going to say some dumbass shit talking about there needs to be a southpaw league. And I don't know, man. Some people are like, oh, he's just joking. You go, what's the point of a joke? To be funny? That wasn't funny. And nobody really agreed with it. And using his dumbass logic, a southpaw league separate, we wouldn't have seen Pacquiao Bradley, Pacquiao Marquez, Pacquiao Eric Morales, Floyd Mayweather Zab Judah, Antonio Margarito Paul Williams, Canelo and Edison Laura, which is coming up. I mean, there's tons of great fights where you have an orthodox fighter fighting a southpaw. So I thought, no matter what his aim was, that was stupid. It was just a stupid comment that didn't even need to be aired. A southpaw league, shut the fuck up. Other than that, just a lot of favoritism. If you watch the Nonito Donaire fight, they were giving Nonito Donaire, and I'm from the Bay. I respect Nonito Donaire, and I like Nonito Donaire. That's a Bay Area native, and you know what I mean? You know what it's about. But the fight with Simpiwe, after the fight, they were giving him all the fucking chances in the world. They were like, oh, is it because the cut? Is it the eye? And they were like babying him. I was just like, this is some bullshit. Let that have been Mayweather or someone that they didn't fancy, or Rigondeaux or whatever. They would have been like, why did you quit? You know what I'm saying? Larry Merchant would have been like, why did you quit, Mayweather? Why is it boring? Why did you do, you know what I'm saying? Or how come you can't sell? But for Nonito, since they like him and he's one of their favorites, they were kissing his ass. Then you look at the Carl Froch versus George Groves rematch. A great spectacle. 80,000 people packed in the Wembley Stadium, and you couldn't even fly your crew out to England. Like, yo, I'm friends and I know some boxing people just on a lower scale, not necessarily a business or network. They don't have the same budget, but they're mobile. They get around. Michelle Joyce Phelps, she went to England, but you couldn't send Roy Jones Jr., Jim Lampley, and them motherfuckers to England. But you have people on the YTBC who went to England for Carl Frost, George Groves. It makes no sense. If anybody should have been there, you bought the fight. Why are your people not there? Instead, they have Roy Jones and them calling the fight from like a high school gym or some empty arena or some shit in front of a blackened canvas. Like, that's retarded. You bought the fight, but you're not even going to send your people there. And it'd be one thing if they were at another fight like the Nonito Donaire fight in Macau, but they weren't even there either. So horrible, horrible, horrible. Just let me know what you guys think of HBO. I'm really done right now. Make sure you hit the like button. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.